Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel host GBHL James.
I'm GBHL Jamie and it is our Fallen Realms week and we're jumping the order a little bit. We're doing the Eastern Kingdoms today.
This is purely for practical reasons, because the Harada number is actually quite an expansive one.
Very, very hero heavy.
And it's a good one to look forward to. Well, we're reasonably limited for time because James finishes work soon and it is New Year's Eve. So we are going to get straight into the Eastern Kingdoms. This is probably out of the three the least popular.
Yes, the Easterlings.
The ones that you see the least of. Easterlings certainly are my least favourite, I think probably in the whole game.
Yeah.
Eastlings. Not to put a dampener on this video. So what we're going to do is we are going to talk through the heroes. Now what we have found with the Fallen Realms is that each faction probably justifies...
Except for maybe this.
Except for them, we might be able to get the warriors in as well.
Yeah.
We'll see how we get on. Actually splitting it.
Yeah.
So we are going to start off with the main man. Now this is somebody that you will see in other army lists too. So you may be coming here because you've been pointed here from another video.
Yes.
Who are we going to talk about first? Who's the main man of the Eastern Kingdoms?
It is the Easterling, Camul.
So not really the main man.
No, the main spirit.
Ringwraith. Banish!
Banish him.
Banish him. So yeah, we've got the Ringwraith. This guy is the only other named wraith in the actual lore.
Yes, yeah.
You know, I know that they are referred to as Druid Lake and stuff like that, but Camul is the only one mentioned in the lore.
Yeah.
And he very much has rules to kind of match the fact that he's a bit of a known dude, isn't he? So what's his stat line?
Stat line is fight 5 with a 4+ shoot value. The shoot value is irrelevant. It says he's strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, courage 6, 2 might, 12 will, and 2 fate.
So this is our first time looking at a wraith.
Yeah.
So let's have a little moment. He's a named wraith. Let's compare him to the unnamed wraiths, just from the stat line. So what's the same, what's different?
Exactly the same for everything except the might, will, fate. The unnamed wraiths, for their starting points cost is very cheap, but for every point of might, will or fate you give them extra, they get 5 additional points added on. So they start with 0, 7, 0. So if they're 55 points basic, we've got 2, 4, 10 extra points, so 50 points. So it'd be 105 to reach what he gets here. And he is, what you would probably say, he's going into the sort of low to expensive. You know, the lower of the expensive kind of cost for a hero before you start adding on war gear. He's paying an extra sort of those extra 15 points for some very good special rules. And what you tend to find with these named wraiths is you've taken a lot of the weaknesses of a wraith and removed them with some very good special rules. Camul tends to be up there. Yes, he's usually like the second inclusion nowadays.
Yeah.
He would be the first previously.
And the reasons for that are these special rules. So he causes terror, which we expect. Yeah. He causes terror. But what else has he got?
He's got the Harbinger of Evil, which all the wraiths have, which is the -1 courage bull, essentially, 12-inch range. He's got Essence Leech, which is his big one. Yeah,
so what does Essence Leech do?
If he causes a wound in combat, he regains a single point of will per turn.
Wow.
So, the downside with the Ringwraith is that if they go into combat, they lose a point of will at the end of the turn. If he actually wounds someone, he takes their soul, essentially, and gets
and that's because of
back.
The Will of Evil, which is a Ringwraith rule, which is, you know, well, it's not just Ringwraiths, is it? You've also got the Castellans
of Dol
So basically spirits, when they go into combat, they're going to be losing something. So all of a sudden, Camul, you can use him in quite a combat-orientated role. Now let's talk a little bit about his magical powers before we talk about his options. Is Camul a casting-based wraith, or is he a combat
No,
wraith?
He's got good spells, but his casting value is typically 1 higher than everyone else in the wraith world.
And he's got a lowish number of will.
Yeah.
He's got a lowish number of will. So what spells does he have? Well, he's got Drain Courage, which is a 3+. He also has Sap Will, which is 4+, which is a horrendous spell.
Ridiculous spell.
Even
on a 4+, it's good.
Yeah. Transfix on a 4+, Compel on a 5+, and then Black Dart on a 6+. So let's almost review these magical powers that he's got. So Drain Courage on a 3+. Good stuff.
I like Drain Courage.
Yeah.
It's often an overlooked spell, but I've used it to good effect where I've knocked Aragorn down to Courage 1 and he's just not charging, ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's to prevent those bigger heroes often, or the things that can cause you problems from being able to get on you when you cause terror and you Harbinger of Evil.
It also potentially is a spell that always gets through without them drawing their will.
Yeah.
So you know, you throw a spell at it, they go, no, I'll let that go through because I want to save it for the transfix, and you go, well, now your courage -2, so your courage 4 now.
Mm.
And if you do that again next turn, the courage 2.
And it stays.
It stays there for the entire game.
Yeah. Nasty stuff, really. And then next up, Sap Will. Now, both of us pulled a face with Sap Will because Sap Will is an awful spell.
Yeah.
It's an awful spell.
D3 plus 1 will, and its unchanneled form is ridiculous.
Yeah. So you end up being in a predicament. You know, what do you use to resist? Because you're going to use this.
Use 2. If you've got 3 will, you use 2.
Yeah.
Because you might get to resist it.
So you're going to be losing 2 will to resist regardless. Now I think one way of fixing this is that if you resist it, you keep all of the will that you had. I think that could be one way.
In that, or the spell just gets rid of one of your will points.
Yeah.
So they have to spend a will point to get rid of one of yours.
Yeah.
They have to spend a will point to get rid of 4 of yours.
Yeah. Which is awful.
Which is terrible.
Which is awful. Because then what that opens you up for are the next 2 spells in particular. Transfix and Compel. Which
we spoke about with Saruman the White previously in the week.
And these are game changer spells.
Yeah.
These, you know, what you realise when you look at these Ringwraith profiles is that they are very good anti-hero.
Yes, that's their role, isn't it?
Yeah, they're very good anti-hero. And then you've got the Showstopper one, you've got the Flash one. It's kind of like the Sorcerous Blast of the Ringwraiths.
Yeah.
It's hard to get. It's a 6+. It's the Black Dart.
Yeah.
Now, do we see much Black Dart?
Not particularly.
Not with the more competitive. I think a lot of people like to try the Black Dart.
Yeah. So Black Dart is a strength 9 hit that you cast it on a 5 or 6+. You then need to roll the 3+ to wound from the strength 9 hit. But it can be used to take down a hero very late game.
Yeah.
So someone running away who's on low wounds, no fate.
Yeah, my first experience of Black Dart was AoEing, getting Black Darted off the board in first turn or something ridiculous. You felt the fates.
Yeah, it's one.
Gone. Now, because he is a bit more of a combat wraith, his war gear options become even more relevant. Now, what we'll do, we'll work from the bottom up.
Yes.
We'll go from the worst going up. So, first of all, you've got the horse. So, wraiths can take horses, that's great. Just 10 points. Then you take an armoured horse.
So your horse isn't going to get shot from underneath you.
And all of a sudden, yes, they've got 1 attack, but you've got 2 attacks, so you can start to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But then you've got the real biggies. Next up is Fell Beast. 50 points.
50 points for Fell Beast. So to page 27 to see their rules.
I've gone way past that. Page 27. Okay. So a Fell Beast. It moves 12 inches and it flies.
Yeah, scary.
It's monstrous cavalry, which is it is accompanied now by
Guahir on eagle. Okay, sorry,
Guahir on an eagle.
Oh.
That's mating.
Yeah. Radagast on an eagle.
Radagast on an eagle. Now, if the Ringwraith is killed, then the what's it called? The Fell Beast runs away because of the feral rule. But it has a very good stat line, and because it's a mount, you can use this stat line, which then, when combined with this special rule, when combined, is very, very, very strong. So a Fell Beast, it's 5/5, so it's the same. It's got 5+ shoot barriers, doesn't matter. It's strength 6, so all of a sudden your Wraith has got strength 6 effectively. It's defense 6, but your Wraith's got defense 8. He's got 2 attacks, so that's 3 when you charge because of monstrous cavalry. It's got 3 wounds, so it's not going to go down too easy, although defense 6 might be a bit of a problem against strength 2 bows. And then you've got courage 3.
Yeah.
Do we see many Fell Beasts out there?
You typically see 1, maybe, in an evil force if someone's taking them. We know Ed Balls takes many of them and does very well with them and has won the past 2 leagues essentially with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you typically see 1 in a force. Yeah. And one's a headache.
They're cheap.
Yeah.
They're cheap.
50 points for that.
50 points, and then in combination with the other rules, it makes them very, very good at a multitude of rolls. And of course, then his killing power is massively raised as Kumul, so his Essence Leech, you are going to be getting that back.
Yeah.
and effectively cancelling out his will of evil quite a lot. Now there are a couple of other Fell Beast options which are a bit more beefed up, so let's talk about those. We've got the Horned Fell Beast,
which makes you strength 7. That's the 25 points extra.
That is, yeah, 75 points, so a bit more expensive. Do we see much?
You don't usually see either of these two particularly. If anything, you see the armoured, but 20 points you can get more troops.
Yeah. Yeah, you've also got the armoured.
A Fell Beast is good enough.
The Fell Beast is pretty good, yeah. Armoured Fell Beast, defence 7, you know, obviously that's going to protect against your strength 4s in particular, and your strength 2s even more. Yeah. And then of course your Horned Fell Beast is there. We don't tend to see them, a few people bring them along as a little bit of an option, but a Fell Beast being 50 points.
It's so cheap. Though.
It's so cheap, yeah. So those are his options. We see quite a bit of Kamal, I would say.
Yeah, he's going to lead the troops in this one probably.
Yeah, he's your main guy. Very, very good. Becomes a bit more of an expensive hero with a Fell Beast, but well worth it for all of the things that he can do. And a nice model.
Yeah.
And quite a nice model. Which brings us then on to the next Eastern Kingdoms named hero, and there are only 2 named heroes in Eastern Kingdoms. Who's this guy?
It's Amda, the Lord of Blades.
Ooh.
He's a man.
So this is a made up Games Workshop?
Yes, yeah.
He's your mid-level points, isn't he? He's 10 points off being a bit expensive.
Yeah, maybe. So his stat line is actually very good though. He's fight 6, so very good. Strength 4, defense 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 3 might, 1 will, and 1 fate.
So that's a pretty good stat line, pretty strong.
Lacking in fate, but
yeah, not quite reaching the defense 7 that you might need for a hero, but for his points cost, it's pretty good. The 3 might.
But it comes with an Elven Blade. So for evil, suddenly they can beat good heroes that don't have them and negate good Elven Blades.
And with him being fight value 6, that's such a sweet point, was in particular a sweet point before the new releases. For heroes, that is incredibly useful, because apart from maybe versus other elves that have got Elven Blades, he's going to be pretty good against other heroes, and with the 3 might as well.
But he's got a good few special rules that make him. He can take an armoured horse, but his special rules are what make him.
Yeah. So the first one is Blood and Glory, which sounds pretty cool. This model kills an enemy hero in a fight, he immediately regains a might point expended earlier in the battle. Yeah. That's very good. So all of a sudden, you might as well do your heroic strikes.
Heroic strike, if I kill this guy, I get it. But in this very nicely in Lords of Battle, you can earn 2 might points back.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen that before.
Tom Harrison.
Yeah, back in Mansfield, the first Mansfield tournament.
Yeah, I used 2 points of might to kill you. Woohoo!
Yeah, because you might as well, because you're going to get them back. So that's a very good rule. And then you combine it with his fight 6, his 3 might, his Elven Blade, you start to maybe see a bit of a role here for him in the game. He's quite good against other heroes. He's also Herald of Victory, so Easterlings treat Amda as a banner. And
he himself benefits from it.
That's very good.
So he's essentially 3 attacks to win the fight on foot, 4 if he's charging.
Which is really, really, really good. Now he's also got an unyielding combat stance. Whenever this model is knocked down for any reason, roll a d6. On a roll of 4+, he keeps his foot and is not knocked down.
Yeah.
I can imagine that being quite annoying as a right arm player.
Yeah.
Get down, you.
Nope.
Nah, mate, I'm not doing it. I'm not going over.
Yeah. Well, Nature's Wrath, everyone else falls down, he stands up.
Yeah, boundless.
Just like, damn it.
He's like one of those inflatable snowmen thing. Or punch bags, inflatable punch bag men. Amda is...
He's good.
He's good. He's good. Reasonably pointed. Same as King of the Dead.
There was with Cloak.
Yeah. Reasonably pointed. Nicest model, although I'm not a massive fan of the Easterlings.
Easterling aesthetic's not great.
A bit too Shredder-like for me. From Ninja Turtles. But we do tend to see him if people are taking an Eastern Kingdoms list. So then we come to the unnamed. So next up, very, very cheap, is the Easterling Captain.
Yeah. He's your captain of men with heavy armour. He's fight 4, strength 4, defence 6, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 2 might, 1 will, 1 fate. He can take an armoured horse, or a horse, a bow, an elven blade, or a shield.
So this guy, he's got some decent options there. You're probably going to want to take him with an elven blade.
And a shield to make defence 7.
And a shield and an armoured horse. Yeah. Because he's still quite cheap then. So he's 70 with all that.
So he's not bad, but the fight value is let down.
Yeah, the fight value 4 is what lets him down. In a similar kind of way, I guess you would say, to your Swan Knight captain,
Yeah.
captain of Dinos. But apart from that, pretty good in terms of the options that you can have. So next up's
a very good hero. It's a shame that he's independent though.
Yeah, can't lead men.
Yeah.
Who's this?
It's the Easterling Dragon Knight.
Quite a sought after model.
Yeah, it looks really cool, except for the 3-pronged helmet thing. Yeah. So he's fight 5, strength 4,
already better.
defense 6, 3 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 2 might, no will, no fate.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And he's quite cheap.
He is.
He's kind of like your lower level mid.
He's a tooled up Easterling captain.
Yeah.
You can take an armoured horse, which is even better, so 4 attacks on the charge. And he's got all the same rules that Amder had, so he gets a might point back if he kills hero, if he's knocked over on a 4+ he doesn't fall, and he's a banner, isn't he? No, he's not the banner.
No.
But he can also shield in a defensive stance if he wants to.
Okay.
So he can have 6 dice to win the fight.
That's pretty cool. Now, what does let this guy down is his lack of fate and only 2 wounds, so it's reasonably fragile. He's reasonably fragile. But we do see a few of him popping around because he's quite cheap for his role.
Yeah, he can shred up troops quite nicely.
Yeah. You can go around and bash things up. And again, yeah, like we said before, he is quite a sought after model. And you can put him on an armoured horse, which means his killing power is even more.
Yeah.
Now, this next one is a really interesting one in my opinion, because it allows something to happen to men which you wouldn't think could happen to men.
Or to Easterlings.
To Easterlings, yeah. Who have we got?
All models from Easterling. Oh, okay. An Easterling War Priest.
Easterling War Priest. So this is basically your man shaman.
Yeah. He's fight 3, strength 3, defense 5, 1 attack, 2 wounds, courage 4, 1 might, 3 will, 1 fate. He has the option for an armoured horse, so you can make a mounted force by the looks of things here. He's got 2 spells. He's got Fury, which we discussed with the Uruk-hai Shaman, and Blade Wrath, scoring a 2+, which is a really nice actual little spell. So Fury in this instance affects everything in the Eastern Kingdoms section. So you can't ally it with, say, the Dunland warriors to get them some Fury.
Yeah.
But Blade Wrath, any model within 6-inch range on a 2+ becomes strength 6 for that turn.
Wow.
Any models any blows that character makes is a strength 6.
That's really good. So you can see that in combination with some of the sort of heroic level.
Yeah. Well, the Easterling Dragon Knight on a horse becomes 3 attacks, 4 on the charge, but strength 6.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
Which is really, really, really good. Now the Fury affects the Eastern Kingdom, so it affects guys, and in what is typically a Courage 3 army, that's pretty handy. All of a sudden that's getting buffed up. Do we see many of the Easterling War Priests in an Easterling army though?
Yeah, you usually see 1.
Yeah, see one, the same way that you kind of see an Orc Shaman in an Orc army.
You should take them. The model I think is out of production though, so people tend to be converting them.
Yeah. And reasonably easy to convert because all the Easterlings are the same. I guess the thing that you get in with Easterlings is the higher defence, that's what you would say, across the board. They all tend to come with the heavy armour because that's how they look.
Yeah.
Now we come up to another interesting profile, and this time we're coming away from your sort of Easterlings, your run as it were, and you start going more towards Khand. Okay, and we've got the Khandish king. Now these guys, the Khandish, these are kind of like your Mongols.
Mongols!
That's right. Your Genghis Khan-esque
people.
That's right. So we've got the Khandish king. Now Khandish king, he's fight 6. That's really good. He's got 4+ shoot value, and he can take a bow, so that can be okay. He's got strength 4, defense 6, because he comes with armour. He's got 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 5, which is pretty good. And he's got 2 might, 2 will, and 1 fate. So he's got that king, the king profile, man-king profile, the extra will. Now he comes with a chieftain's axe, so likewise to the other Eastern Kingdoms, it's like an elven blade, which is pretty cool.
But it counts as a sword, it's supposed to be an axe.
Yeah, very interesting. So
that was an FAQ thing, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Should be able to pierce and strike. It's an axe.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't understand why.
Now, as I mentioned before, he can take a bow. Yeah, which you might do. But he can take a horse, which could be useful. But then even more interesting,
a special rule before you get onto the chariot.
Yeah, good point. He's got a commanding presence. All Khandish warriors, horsemen, charioteers, and chieftains treat the Khandish king as a banner. So automatically, that's a very good rule.
Yeah,
very, very, very good rule. Now he can take a Khandish chariot. This is 30 points. He is mid-level points costed.
Yeah.
But this chariot then sort of takes him up into that sort of lower high points. What does the chariot do?
The chariot is essentially a cavalry model that knocks over other cavalry. It also acts as a sort of a battle platform. If he was to take a bow, he can move, I think it's full, and doesn't suffer any penalty to shooting.
Yeah, it says here, so it can move 10 inches, strength 3, because of course when you've got mounts you can use the profiles. It's defense 7, which is good, and it's got 3 wounds itself, so it's going to be quite tough to take down. Much tougher obviously than killing a horse. Now it follows all the normal rules for monstrous mounts with the following exceptions. So yeah, it can +1 on the attack, it can knock down other cavalry, which is good. Now it has had to be FAQ'd that it's not
a monster.
It's not a monster.
But it charges like monstrous cavalry.
Yeah. Okay, now the chariot cannot jump obstacles that form a physical barrier such as hedges, so different to cavalry in that aspect. It may attempt to cross such obstacles as streams or gullies if the controlling player wishes, but if a 1 is rolled on the jump test, the chariot is automatically destroyed and the rider is thrown. So you want to avoid that kind of terrain.
Yeah. Open terrain, that's what you want.
Yeah, and chariots allow greater freedom of movement and make for a much stable fighting platform than other steeds. This is what you said before. A model in the chariot can move its full distance and still shoot a bow, so you got that right. And also, in addition, a model riding the chariot can use a 2-handed weapon if it wishes and can carry both a bow and a 2-handed weapon. If the model becomes dismounted, it must abandon either the bow or the 2-handed weapon. Candish King. Do we see many of these?
I've played against, I think, 2 of them, but they've never been a real headache.
No, quite easy to deal with.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I think it's quite a good profile actually.
It is a good profile, yeah. I mean, I think it's different for the wood elves that I take. Yeah. They've got the fight 6 knocking around and plenty of their own elven blades, so.
Yeah. Does Nature's Wrath and stuff knock them off the,
yeah, it does, yeah.
The chariots and that, yeah, so I guess you're quite good. This would be very bad versus my all-mounted royal.
Yeah, fight 6 beats it against it. Yeah.
Fight 6 beats it, and of course they're knocking down
the horses.
So yeah, Candish King, lovely model as well. I recently gave this to Steve. Very fragile model, fragile metal model. Out of production now?
Yes.
Well, out of production. So then that brings us then to 1 down from the Candish King. So effectively the Candish Captain, which is the Candish Chieftain. Nice and cheap.
Nice and cheap. He's got the same wargear options, the horse, bow and Candish chariot. He carries an elven blade and armour. He's fight 5, strength 4, defence 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 2 might, 1 with 1 fate. So you captain profile, but he's fight 5, which is good.
Yeah, fight 5 is pretty good there. And again, he's got the options for the bow, the horse, and the Candish chariot again. So pretty good. Pretty good for the points. You can put him in the chariot.
It's a defence 5 that lets him down.
Yeah.
Compared to the king, and obviously fight 6 is much nicer.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. So if you're going to take him, then you would probably take him in the chariot if you can.
Yeah.
The chariot if you can. So that's the Candish Chieftain, and that's a 23-minute long video. So I think that we'll probably call it there.
Yeah.
We'll probably call it there for that, which means that tomorrow you will hear a little bit about the
Easterling warriors, the Black Dragon warriors, and the Candish themselves.
Yeah, and it's not a huge number of troops, so what we might do is actually roll
the scenarios into that.
Yeah, we'll roll the scenarios into that one before we go into the meat of the Harad and Umbar. So we hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure you comment below, get involved in the conversation as always. Comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your Hobbit Hobby, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
As always guys, happy strategy battle gaming.